Spoilers inbound! Greetings, dear viewers! Today we begin our arduous journey to cover every single title in Tales of Symphonia. And just like all great journeys, we must first begin by going through the simple tutorial stuff that nobody wants to do. And in our case, that means covering the non-missable story titles. So this should be a quick one. I know this isn't terribly interesting. As I mentioned, spoilers will probably be present, so people who haven't earned these probably won't watch, and people that are watching have probably already know when to get them. So I'm going to gloss over quite quickly when you unlock all of these titles. So these are all the titles that are given to you automatically by the time you finish your first playthrough. You can't avoid getting them. So, kicking it off, Lloyd gets his Drifting Swordsman title when he causes the mass genocide of Isalia. He gets the Gentle Idealist title when he starts babbling on like a world peace monk hippie type dude in Mizuho. And he gets his Eternal Swordsman title when he becomes a god of time and space. Colette gets her Ill-Fated Girl title when you find out she's going to die. She gets her Spiritua Reborn title when you find out she's no longer going to die. Genus has no non-missable titles. All of his titles can be missed. Raine gets Archeological Mania when you find out she's a maniac. She gets Grand Healer when you find out she's a quite useful maniac. Kratos gets his Traitor title when he decides to become a prick. Sheena gets her Summoner title when you find out she's actually useful for something. And she gets her Elemental Summoner title when you find out that's about all she's ever going to be useful for. Zelos also does not have any non-missable titles. All of his titles are missable. Same thing for Presidente. And finally, Regal gets his El Presidente title when you find out he's even more of a badass than he already is. So that right there covers all of the non-missable titles and when they are unlocked in a very crude, brief manner. So, and quickly I mentioned about the stats. Just because you automatically get these titles, don't dismiss them as being useful. Some of them are actually pretty good, like Lloyd's Eternal Swordsman one's pretty good. Regal's El Presidente title is pretty solid as well. So yeah, I mean, once you unlock these titles, you'll probably want to equip them in your first playthrough since you won't be getting a lot of titles then, I wouldn't imagine. But yeah, they can be pretty solid in terms of that functionally wise anyway. So that's basically it. This, as I mentioned, this was a short one, so you'll notice I mentioned that these are non-missable story titles. I made that distinction because you could technically argue that some of the leveling titles are non-missable, because obviously you're gonna have to get past level 20 to beat the game, and there's some titles for that. But I'm gonna group those ones over with the leveling titles in a separate video, so I'll get to those at some point. So I apologize if this one was a little stale. I hope the video clips there were at least something to make it a bit more pleasing. But next time we're finally going to get to some interesting titles, don't you worry. So thanks for watching. I know you didn't learn anything from this one, but stay tuned and maybe you should next time. I'll catch you guys later.